I saw you post something the other day that there are more female law students now than male. Didn't you post something like that?
Yeah.
Or you don't even know.
No.
You just randomly post
I do.
whatever.
Anything off of Forbes is going on.
Pro-female.
All right, question number 3.
They're on to us.
Stump the Clarky, it's Behind the Law. ESPN 580 Orlando, Brianna.
What is the number of divorces in Florida last year?
Jeez.
I know. This music's intense. Talking about divorces.
Number of divorces in Florida. I don't really have a good guess on that.
Just last
I'm going
year.
to guess. Yeah, in 1 year.
I think I went a little high.
I think
I'm
I went a
hopeful
little. I think I went a little low.
You're hopeful for your
business
industry?
purposes.
All right, final question today for a Stump the Clarky on a whatever night it is. I don't even know. I don't
It's
know.
Thursday night.
Is it?
It is.
We keep getting the show bumped, so I don't even know what night it's running anymore.
Yeah, it's
All right.
scary. What percentage of custody reported receiving the full amount of child support due?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, what percentage of custody hearings reported to have the spouse receive the full amount of child support due? And
So
this is
no
in
arrearages.
America. Yeah. Full amount of child
Wait,
support.
so like they're put on child support and they pay every single
Every
payment?
single.
What, 3?
This guy and that guy? What are you talking about?
Pay every payment?
Every payment. Full amount of child support due. I'm not going to lie. I was.
State of Florida, right?
Nope. All of America.
Why these hints? I know
United
you're about to give
States.
hints. Stop. She's writing a low answer. Don't give her a hint.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, fine. This isn't cheating when I know the answer, Justin. I just
It
need you
is
to know
cheating.
that.
You're giving hints to the guest.
Yeah, we already went over this. She's winking one time to go higher,
I believe.
2 times to go lower.
I was wondering why you two are playing footsie over there. I knew something was going on here. All right, you're listening to Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Justin Clark here with you. We're playing Stump the Clarky against attorney Erica Burns with Purely Legal. It's time to score this game. Brianna, what was question number 1?
Question number 1 is, as of 2018, how many active resident attorneys are there in the state of Florida?
Erica Burns, I know you're one of them. What did you guess?
I put 115,000.
Okay, pretty good guess. Justin Clark went with an even 80,000 attorneys here in the state of Florida. What is the right answer, Brianna?
Damn. 78,000.
Oh, wow.
Justin,
Sorry
wow.
about that. That's
She
one-
winked once
No,
to you,
trust
didn't
me. She does not want to cheat for me. She loves it when I lose.
I do. Can't stand it when this man wins.
Don't worry. You're going to creep ahead of me here, I'm sure, with these next divorce questions coming up. All right, question number 2.
According to a 2017 study, what percentage of lawyers are men?
I'll go first on this, and I went with 59%, Brianna. Erica Burns, what do you have?
I went with 76%.
Oh, wow. What is the right answer?
It's 64%.
Sorry.
that
I
one?
think that would be
I think
me
you did
again.
win.
Oh, my
Yeah.
gosh. I'm sorry. I feel guilty now. The last thing I want to do is skunk you 4-0, you know?
Well, there's
You're
more
the guest.
female attorneys than I thought, so I'm
That's
still
another
winning.
point.
There's a lot. There's
Another
quite a
point
bit.
for Justin Clark. We're going to continue to score this game. It's Stump the Clarky on Behind the Law. Question number 3, Brianna.
What is the number of divorces filed in Florida last year?
All right, you go first, Eric. What did you have?
I hope I get this right. I said 11,500.
Ooh,
Wow.
I went way higher than that. I'm probably way too high then because you are a divorce attorney. I went with 120,000.
120,000.
Am I underestimating relationships?
Wow. Yeah, a little bit. That's half the population of Seminole County.
Okay, yeah. A lot of people getting divorced. A lot of fights.
In the world?
I mean, a lot of people getting divorced 2-3 times. They fall back in love, get divorced again. Fall back in love,
You
get
know what?
divorced
That's
again.
true.
Yeah.
What is the right answer?
The right answer is 50,000.
50,000. So
So
you
I-
win that one, right?
Yeah,
won
Erica
that
gets
one.
that one.
Ding. Congratulations. So
She dinged herself.
So
I
it's
get
2.
dessert now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Come back.
So it's 2-1. Justin Clark has creeped ahead of Erica Burns. It comes down to this. A final question today on Stump the Clarky. Brianna, what was that question?
What percentage of custody hearings reported receiving the full amount of child support due?
Hold on, Erica.
Okay. That's for the question.
That was
Clarky, where did you get that answer from?
That was for the question, Brianna. We didn't understand the question. I still don't quite get.
Here we go.
That's for your question.
Ooh, better luck next time.
Better luck next time with your questioning because I didn't understand it. Erica didn't understand it.
So that means I get it right,
No,
right?
Yeah,
absolutely
I think so. Dinger.
So look, maybe the audience understood the question.
Maybe
I
they
doubt it. What was the question one more time?
I don't even want to repeat it
No,
anymore.
repeat it one more time.
What percentage of custody hearings reported in receiving the full amount of child support due?
Justin Clark went with 62%. Erica Burns, what did you have?
I thought it was a number, not a percentage. So I put 500,000.
Okay.
Oh.
So
What are we gonna do?
Well, it's definitely a percentage.
all right,
Turn that into a percent really fast.
Yeah.
30%.
All right,
30%?
what is the right answer?
43%.
And I think that would
That's
be you
me.
get the
Yes. And since I'm the guest, I break the tie,
2
right?
to 2.
So
the
I
guest
win.
always wins during a tie. Good job today, Erica Burns.
Okay, folks, thank you so much for being with us. Clarky, let's get out of here, buddy. My stomach thinks my throat's cut. I'm starving.
One final segment ahead of Behind the Law with Erica Burns. Today, she's going to answer your questions about, should I get a prenuptial agreement? And do they hold up in court? All right on the other side of this break. Be right back on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
One more segment of Divorce Law with Erica Burns. My name is Justin Clark. One attorney asking another attorney questions, which I know can...
That song is perfect.
Thank you very much. I know a lot of you don't like lawyers. I don't blame you half the time, but you're going to have to deal with 2 lawyers. But we're actually not the normal sort of stuffy lawyers, right? I mean, we're
we're a
pretty
good time,
approachable and
fun.
we're having a good time. And I think you're answering a lot of great questions, too, about divorce, custody, alimony, child support.
Yes.
But then there might be one way, Erica, to avoid having to go through that whole fight at the end of a relationship or a marriage after all, called a prenup, right?
Yes.
Talk to me about prenuptial agreements.
So a prenuptial agreement is something that you would enter into. It's a contractual agreement that you and your future spouse would enter into that basically plans for the end. Now, before we get into it too much, I do want to address the common misconception with prenups and how they're seen so negatively. I feel like a prenup is just like any other type of financial plan, a retirement plan, health insurance plan. It's just because you never know. We cannot predict what's going to happen in the future. Of course, none of us want to die young. Of course, none of us want to get cancer young, but yet we'll pay to get cancer insurance. We pay for life insurance. So I think that a prenuptial agreement is absolutely necessary. And another common misconception is that only rich people need prenups. That is totally false. Broke people need prenups more than rich people.
Why is that?
Because a rich person lifestyle will not change if they have to, pay alimony. The example you gave earlier, a guy who's making $7,500 net income, that's all he's seeing. If he has to pay a $2,000 payment, that's his mortgage right there. So he may have to move out of his house. The millionaire making $25 million a year, even if he has to pay her $5 million a year, that doesn't really change his lifestyle unless he's living way out of his means. And most of the time, people get smart with their money when they're
If you're
making
it's
that
hard to
much.
live outside of your means when you're making $25 million.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I could live on that. How about you guys? All right. So the prenups, do they hold up in court?
Sometimes.
What does that mean?
Sometimes they hold up in court.
Such a lawyer answer.
It
It
is,
depends.
Right? It depends.
We just always say it depends.
Yeah, it
Depends on what. Like, I don't know.
On a number of things, you want to make sure both parties are represented by attorneys. That's the easiest way to challenge it.
Yeah.
I was coerced or I was under duress. Make sure you sign it. And I would say 2 to 3 months, if not more than 6 months before the wedding. You have people signing these the day before the wedding without an attorney. It's going to get overturned. Right, yeah.
With
it's going to get
bridesmaids.
overturned. Yeah, it's going to get thrown out, especially if it's heavily one-sided to one person.
Right.
But I would say that, you know, a prenup also is not just to protect the party with a lot of money. Ladies, fellas who are making less money than your spouse, there are ways you can put things in that in that contract that will make you rich or make you better off when you leave. You know, there's actually a rumor that in Beyonce's prenuptial agreement, she gets $5 million per child. So, and I haven't read any case law yet that has said that you cannot do that. I mean, you're not buying a child. It's just an agreement that you're willing to make that when I leave, this is the amount of money I'm getting and this is why.
It's a contract, is it not? I mean, it's a contract that says we're going to get married, but this is what's going to happen when we get divorced.
Right.
I mean, it's
exactly.
just like
as long as you're not breaking the law
yeah.
and saying, and because too, Florida is, you know, a no-fault state divorce, you do have to be careful with putting too many things in there saying that, well, you know, if you cheated with my third cousin, I get 70%.
Yeah.
You know, you can't do things like that. But that's why it's important to get an attorney to make sure it's within the lines and that you're protected just in case it ends, because it's a 50-50 shot that your marriage is going to work.
Let's say I got married 3 years ago, okay? And I didn't have a lot of money then, even though I know that you're saying you should get a prenuptial even if you're not rich. But I didn't, okay? But now it's come to my attention that I probably should get an agreement with my current wife, let's say. Is it possible to do a postnuptial agreement?
It is possible to do a postnuptial agreement.
And do those hold up in court the same, or are there any differences?
Yeah, it's a little tougher to get a postnuptial agreement because most of the time when parties are entering into a postnuptial, something has already happened. So you're already giving rise to the duress argument. It's like, well, I cheated on her, and she told me that for me to stay married to her or for me to keep all the windows in my car, that I had to sign this agreement.
She was in the middle of keying my car in the garage.
Right.
And that sound is like, you know, nails on a chalkboard, so I said I'd give her $5 million.
Right.
All right. That could be considered duress.
Yes,
okay.
absolutely.
How do we have that talk? I mean, let's say you're talking to a client, they're about to get married, they come in and talk to you about the possibility of doing a prenup. What advice do you have for us as to how to have that talk?
Well, I think that if you guys are already coming to my office, you've already had that talk. But I think that for people who haven't had that talk yet, I think it's something that you should do if you're not in a relationship. I mean, as soon as you meet somebody, just like when you have that conversation about how many children you want to have or if you're interested in having children, if somebody is interested in marriage, you have the prenuptial agreement conversation. Do you want to get married with a prenup? If you are in a relationship and you guys are talking about marriage, you know, just bring it up. And I would... You know, I mean, you have to know who you're dealing with. I want to say people who are heavily spiritual and religious, they don't really tend to like prenups because divorce isn't really allowed. It's frowned upon. So know who you're talking to and just approach it sensitively. I would approach it as kind of like a fail-safe plan, like life insurance or a retirement plan. It's just, you know, you want to make sure that you're protected if things end early.
It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Attorney Justin Clark here. We're talking to another attorney tonight, Erica Burns. She is with Purely Legal. The website is
www.purely.legal.
Nothing else.
Legal.
This is one of those new cool .legal websites. They handle.
It'll sound normal in 10 years.
Maybe, yes, maybe 5. You never know. We don't even have websites. Everything's on social media by that time anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean? They handle all things family law, divorce, prenuptial agreements, child custody, child support. Any of those issues, call Erica Burns. She'll take good care of you. Going through a divorce, right? And I'm mad at my almost ex-husband or almost ex-wife, and I know that they're getting cash under the table at their job. I'm calling the IRS. Does that happen?
Absolutely.
And what really happens when, there's people get a little bit cuckoo sometimes during divorce, and they become, let's call retaliatory, we'll say.
Yes.
To be polite.
Very nice word.
And they're, because we're on terrestrial radio, you can't really say everything you want to say, you know what I mean? So I'm going to call the IRS because I know for a fact that he's taking cash under the table at his job, and I'm going to get him in trouble with the IRS. Does the IRS really come looking for people when that happens?
So I actually haven't seen that. But I actually have parents who work for the IRS.
Oh.
So I am terrified of the IRS, obviously, because it was in my household. I would venture to say that, they will investigate at some point.
Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know that you're spanking our child when you have them on every other weekend. I'm going to call DCF.
Oh, that happens all the time, even if they don't know that they're spanking the child. So that happens. DCF will come out and investigate, but they're likely closing it if it's false allegations. But the courts do not look well on corporal punishment. They sure don't.
And when someone does make a complaint to DCF, I mean, they're pretty much obligated to come investigate, are they not? So no matter what. I mean, don't you think there should be some kind of punishment for someone who's just trying to be an a-hole? You know what I mean?
Punishment? Absolutely. Maybe a spanking.
Yeah. No. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just kidding.
Someone, No, okay, I got you. I thought you were misunderstanding my question. I just think that someone who is making up allegations is almost like, domestic violence is such a hot button issue now because it is it's a terrible thing. But then I have people who I know for a fact didn't do anything, and someone just made a false claim against them. And I mean, this can ruin someone's life. I mean, there should be punishment for some of these false claims, whether it's a false claim to the IRS, to DCF, or for domestic violence. I mean, do you ever see no one punished for any of these?
I don't. I think the way you would go about it would probably be like perjury, lying under oath. If they can find it, I'm pretty sure these complaints, everything, it's sworn testimony. I know when you're testifying in court, it's just catching them is the problem. And I do know that DCF will flag your account. So I have had a case where someone called, I want to say in 4 weeks, they made 4 reports. So then DCF flags the account where it's kind of if a call comes in, we may or may not investigate it now at this point because we know we've went 4 times and nothing's going on.
Any family law question, I want you to call our good friend, attorney Erica Burns. Phone number?
407-675-3249.
Daniele, good job today, man. Are you going to join us more often or what?
Yeah,
I mean, we got to have someone to talk soccer or football with. You know what I mean? You're going to be that guy.
You have to have one,
Daniele, the Manchester United fan, was here. So if you like Man U, join us again. Brianna, I don't know much, but I know you did well today filling in for Allie Mack.
Thank you.
And I will see you right back here tomorrow night, 8 o'clock p.m. on ESPN 580 Orlando.